The town of Shivapur was quiet, resting under the shade of the old hills like an aging traveler taking a nap. Life moved slowly there. Morning tea stalls opened by 6, the school bell rang by 8, and shops shut down by 9 in the evening. In one small, cracked house at the edge of the town lived a boy named Kiran. He was 19 years old, thin, with eyes that held both dreams and the dust of crushed hopes. Once a topper in school, he now spent his days staring out of the window, watching the hills but never climbing them. 3 years ago, everything had been different. Kiran was the pride of Shivapur. First in class, medals and speech competitions, a smile that made even the strictest teachers soften. His dream was simple: to be an engineer, to lift his family out of the pit of poverty they had been trapped in for generations. But life doesn't always follow the plans of dreamers. Just 2 months before his engineering entrance exams, his father, who worked as a mason, fell from a construction site. A broken spine. 2 surgeries. No income. The house was silent after that. Kiran tried to study between hospital visits, loan requests, and long nights of hopelessness. He failed the exam. Not because he wasn't smart, but because fate had thrown him into a storm without an umbrella. People stopped expecting from Kiran after that. The neighbors no longer asked about his college plans. Friends, once close, now avoided him because they didn't know what to say. And Kiran, he stopped talking too. He took up small jobs, delivering milk in the morning, stacking books in a dusty bookstore in the afternoon. He told himself he was helping the family. But deep inside, something was dying. His dreams were not burning, they were freezing. Silent. Still. Every evening, he would walk to the foothill behind the town. There was a narrow trail that led up to an old viewpoint. He never climbed it. He just stared at it. One day, he met Dadu, an 80-year-old retired army officer who sat on a bench near the foothill every evening. "You stare at the hill like it stole something from you," Dadu said once, without looking at him. "It did," Kiran replied softly. Dadu smiled. "Maybe it's waiting for you to take it back." A week later, after another rough day of delivering milk, Kiran did something different. He climbed. The trail was steeper than it looked. His legs hurt after 5 minutes. He was sweating by the 10th. But for the first time in months, his heart was beating for something other than survival. It took him 30 minutes to reach the top. When he did, the town below looked smaller, quieter, and somehow less powerful over him. Dadu was right. The hill hadn't stolen anything. It had just been waiting. He climbed again the next day. And again. Sometimes in silence, sometimes with thoughts, sometimes with anger. But he climbed. He began to write again. In a torn notebook he found in the bookstore, he began journaling. "Today I climbed. My legs hurt. But I didn't stop. Maybe life is like this. Hard trails. Sore muscles. But better views."